folks. I'm here with Brian from Datadog. Hi, Brian. How was your talk?
It was fast.
Fast. Tell us a little more.
I thought it was longer than I had planned, and it was good.
Well, you just had that much to say.
Yeah. Well, I did go on about how to manage your career. So I had so many people talking in the lobby before.
Mm-hmm.
I thought a lot of people are here to network.
Mm-hmm.
And that's actually what this summit helps out considerably. So I just shared some experiences and best practices for how others can manage their career to go find jobs in the tech industry, whether that's for a company like Datadog or any other ones.
And that's really valuable. So thank you for that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah. So what was your talk about? Tell us a little bit about it.
So Matt had me talk about observability. So essentially, Datadog is a full stack observability platform, which really means how do you monitor everything from the infrastructure all the way through to the applications. And essentially, that is the value proposition of Datadog, is how do you help streamline that incident detection and resolution process all in a single tool.
Brian, explain it to me like I'm 5. What is full stack observability?
It literally just means monitoring. So
Monitoring.
if you think you have an alarm system at home and something goes wrong, Datadog is an organization that people set up the Datadog within their own environments to monitor their infrastructure. That means the servers or the applications. It could be the website.
Right.
And so we want to make sure that those are running performant, and that's what Datadog does.
So you're telling me that if a page in my website crashes, Datadog can point that out to me and let me know?
That's exactly what they do.
Oh,
so working
perfect.
with our customers, they set up what are called monitors. And when a monitor sets off an alarm, that's Datadog setting off that alert to the organization and helps the team. This is what your problem is, and this is how you might fix it.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
And okay, tell me a little bit about you. How did you get here? How did you get into Datadog? How did you get into observability? You told me that you're from California originally.
Yes.
How'd you end up here?
So I married a Canadian.
That happens to the best of us.
Yeah, and when you have a young family, you go to where it's going to be easiest. And we thought, let's go move back to where she was from. So we moved here, and that was 20 plus years ago.
And is your wife born and raised in Vancouver specifically?
Lower Mainland.
Lower Mainland. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, great. So just like coming home. And how have you found? How does it compare to California?
Oh, we're never leaving.
Oh, that's great.
I don't think people realize how great life is in Canada, and particularly in British Columbia relative to the rest of the world.
Okay.
Like, it's not even a question of which is better.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we got a Vancouver stan right here. Big fan.
Yes. You still have to sometimes during the Olympics root for both teams, but we root a little bit harder for Canada.
What about your career, and how did you get to Datadog? How did it start? What was your path into it?
That's a longer path. So I started out doing what was called data sales back for AT&T in the early 2000s. And when I moved to Canada, then I started working for TELUS on their wide area networks on another business side. So fast forward 15 years, a friend of mine called that was leading up Canada for Datadog and asked me to join to look after all of Western Canada and our large enterprise clients. And so that was about 5 years ago. So I've been there ever since, and it's been phenomenal. Vancouver, I'd call it a Datadog town. Almost every major enterprise organization utilizes Datadog.
Really? Wait, are you allowed to tell us which ones?
Not necessarily, but I can tell you that if you were to walk down Robson Street, pretty much all of them.
Okay, that is really interesting. We never know what's going on behind the scenes, but it's nice to know that Datadog is just all around us, like a presence. Okay, one of my questions is, how can Datadog save money for these big corporations?
In a variety of ways. So that's a loaded question.
It is a loaded
So
question.
it can save money from tool consolidation and or it can save money from helping to reduce and streamline that incident detection and resolution process so that if your website is down, Datadog helps surface the issue so that if a customer can't pay for a product that they're looking to purchase, Datadog helps solve that, which, during the holiday shopping season could be millions of dollars an hour.
Ooh.
So then it's that lost opportunity cost that Datadog helps bring back.
Yeah. That sounds like a lot of money, honestly. And what are the key trends in observability and AI right now? Do you see anything emerging that you're interested in?
Well, not just me. So I'm not going to claim to know everything about observability. So what I get my information is from our analyst community like Gartner or Forrester.
Right.
And so what they see among the clients is this whole idea of tool consolidation. So most organizations over the past 2 decades have built up tech debt with siloed monitoring tools. What Datadog does is help people and organizations consolidate, let's say, 10 different monitoring tools all into Datadog. So before Datadog, they would have what's called context switching from siloed tool to siloed tool to try and figure out what the issue is. When you have it all in one platform like Datadog, now you can really get to the root cause much quicker because you can actually see everything related. Let's say you're monitoring an application. In one click, you can see the underlying infrastructure. In another click, you can see all of the logs that are associated with that application. That in and of itself is how you drive efficiency.
That sounds awesome. And how long has that been a thing in Datadog? Is that a newer kind of feature, or has it been there since the beginning?
Oh, it's there since the beginning. Datadog started out as an infrastructure monitoring organization, and then over time, customers kept wanting them to innovate faster and move into other domains, such as application performance monitoring and log management. And that's really driven by our customers. We have over 30,000 customers now around the globe across virtually every industry.
That's amazing.
There's not a use case that we haven't seen.
It just seems like everybody needs a platform like Datadog, hey?
You could say that a little louder? The answer is yes.
Yeah. Absolutely. And so what's one common mistake that people make when they're setting up a website and they're not thinking about observability, they're not thinking about how to manage all of those resources? What do you think?
It depends on the situation, but if you're just starting out, I met this wonderful young woman here today. She has to be maybe 17, 16 years old, but she's trying to start her own cosmetics business. And then she says, I'm going to be developing a website. That might not be a use case for Datadog because she's not building anything on her own.
Right.
But if organizations that are much larger in their journey, they're doing millions of dollars in business, well, then that's most likely time that you start to look at a product like Datadog, because now when issues occur, it actually has real consequences from a revenue perspective.
That makes total sense. And the more you have to manage and the more people come to your website, the more this is valuable to you, right? Yeah, absolutely.
That's exactly it.
And I'm wondering, how does a platform like Datadog affect everyday people? So what would happen if Datadog disappeared? Would things just crash and burn?
I don't know if things would crash and burn, but if you asked how does it impact everyday people, have you ever been to the airport and your flight was canceled?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Do
you know why it was potentially canceled? If it's canceled because it's a technology issue, the airlines have, based on the time of booking, they have to make sure that they are on time within 20 minutes, or which impacts the end users. Or for example, you need a bag tag printed. Well, if those little kiosks and that bag tag does not get printed, then that individual can be late for their flight. Now they've just missed their flight. So you need solutions like a Datadog that is monitoring those kiosks to make sure that they're working so that that doesn't impact the end customer. And customer will never know that Datadog exists. Do you know it exists when you go to Starbucks? Do you know it exists when you go to Tim Hortons?
No, absolutely not.
but you got your coffee.
Yeah, but it keeps things working.
There you go.
It's like the grease that keeps everything flowing. And okay,
Exactly.
I love that. Honestly, I love Datadog. What a great platform.
It's a pretty cool company,
Yeah.
and it's doing really well globally.
So what is something that you would say to someone who's starting their career right now in the current landscape? What is one skill that they should be working on to get to a place that is of note or successful or that they're really happy with?
That's easy answer. Networking.
Networking.
So before I even gave my talk,
Mm-hmm.
I had at least 10 people
Mm-hmm.
asking me, how did you get your job? Or how should I get a job? And the first step is that they actually asked. Because that's literally what the Cloud Summit is for, is that networking to help not only learn to be better in whatever job you have today,
Mm-hmm.
but also to see if you're just starting out your career, how to land a job. And for those that have the confidence to be able to go up and introduce themselves, that's number one. Everything after that will make them successful.
It's all about who you know, right?
But you can make who you know who you know.
Exactly. So you're telling me that people who've come to Cloud Summit, they should focus on shaking the right hands, making the right impressions, and putting themselves out there?
It's not shaking the right hands.
It's not.
It's shaking any hand.
Any hand.
Because you never know where one conversation will lead. And that conversation might not be with the right person, but that person may know somebody else. And everybody is always willing to help those who ask. It's that simple.
I love that. So if there's one takeaway from your talk today, from your experience at Cloud Summit that you'd like to tell the audience at home, what would you say?
Don't be afraid to introduce yourself.
I love that. Thank you so much, Brian. It's been a pleasure.
You're welcome.
I
Thank
hope
you
you
for
have
having me.
Yeah, I hope you have a great rest of your day and enjoy Cloud Summit.
Thank you.